welcome to another episode of Nerd Age, where we discuss everything nerdy. My name is Mick, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts Josh,
What's up?
Corey,
Hello.
and Jonah.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to this episode, guys. On today's episode, we are going to talk about the deleted scene from the Batman that was released earlier in the week, and I think we have some differing opinions on it, so should be interesting. So,
Do we have to give a spoiler alert for this? I mean, it's technically not in the movie.
yeah, we can spoil alert.
So it's a clip, So it's a clip they released on YouTube and other places. I think they did it on Twitter too.
It came out through the website, the Rata Lava stuff.
Yeah.
That if you could find the codes and stuff. So that was pretty cool that they did it with that, the marketing. But yeah, I guess spoiler alert: if you haven't seen the movie, there's a character in the movie that they deleted a scene, a pretty long scene. It's like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So spoilers. We're gonna go into it.
Yeah, can you just do like a quick 1 minute recap of the video, like the actual scene?
Full spoilers?
Yeah.
Or just,
I mean, we already.
Yeah,
if you
okay.
don't want to hear this, click off.
So it's basically Batman in Arkham Asylum. It's kind of very similar to the Riddler scene where he's interrogating the Riddler.
Yeah.
But this time it's the Joker, and Batman is bringing the clues that the Riddler's left because he wants the Joker to help him out to figure out who the Riddler is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the setup, and then there's some really interesting dialogue between the Joker and Batman. You don't really get to see the Joker. It's kind of like through the dream lens, so he's blurry, and then towards the end you kind of get a good look at him. So what do you guys think? Choop, what do you think of the look of the Joker, the dialogue, and everything?
So for me, the scene was awesome. Like just the I don't want to call it banter, but the chemistry that they have, like they're kind of playing off of each other. I think it was awesome. It was really well done. I really you get kind of like subtle comments of obviously this is year 2 Batman. So I think he says something like, oh, it's almost our anniversary.
Yeah, our year anniversary.
Yeah. And so that it kind of establishes in world, like, okay, he obviously knows who this is. He's obviously coming to him for a reason. It was cool to kind of get that kind of Silence of the Lambs type of feel to it. Like, I'm going to ask another serial killer about another serial killer to kind of help me out. I thought that was cool. And I actually really liked the design of the Joker.
Yeah.
Which I think, I mean, you don't get to see a lot of it in the actual movie. It's just kind of like silhouetted kind of. And
at the very end.
Yeah, at the very end. That's when I was like, I'm not sure about that. But I was thinking like, oh, hope, by next movie they can fix it or kind of nail it down. But it looks like they already have it nailed down what they kind of want it to look like. And I actually really liked. Yeah. It's pretty gruesome. Like he's got scars all over the back of his head and his hands are all jacked up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really like the design. I can't remember the design for his mouth kind of reminded me of, I can't remember what comic it is. It's where Joker gets out of prison and the guy.
That's the one I have. It's just called the Joker.
Yeah. And the guy, it's you go from the driver's perspective who's driving him around. I think in that comic, his mouth is very similar. It looked very similar to that. That's kind of what it reminded me of. But yeah, I thought it was great. I really liked it.
So your opinion is they should have included it in the movie?
No, actually.
Okay.
For me, even though it was a really cool scene, I think it would have taken away from the Riddler at that point, because I don't know at what point they would have put it in the movie.
Sure.
But as soon as they put that in, then the rest of the movie, I'm like, oh, cool, the Joker's out there. What's the Joker going to do next? And I really liked what they did with the Riddler in the movie. And so as soon as you put in the Joker, then I'm immediately like, I kind of want to know about what the Joker's doing.
Well, this guy's cool.
Yeah.
Sidetracking.
I had pretty much the exact same thoughts. I love the scene. I thought it was great. It's probably like the creepiest design of the Joker we've gotten. Like,
I mean, Jared Leto's pretty. No, I'm just kidding.
He's creepy in a whole different way. But, you can really tell that there's. I'm assuming it's like chemical burns from the acid bath that he takes. I like the callbacks to something between them happened like a year ago. He's so creepy. Like the creepiest smile I think we've seen. Like his mouth is just like abnormally too far open, and his teeth are all kind of jaggedy. But yeah, I like the scene. But same with you. I don't think that putting it in the movie was a good idea. I think deleting it was probably the right choice. Basically, same as you, because the scene is so similar to the Riddler scene that I think it would have taken away the weight that Riddler scene had. Since he is the main villain of the movie, to me, it just, even though the scene was great, I think it would have hurt the movie in the end.
Can I ask the question, then why did they even release it at all then?
No, they always release deleted scenes, don't they?
No, not this. This is pretty abnormal, I would say. It's like a month or two. It's a month after
And
it's released.
the movie's still in
It's
theaters.
still out there. So I don't know. I'm not like poking anything. I'm just asking the
poke it.
question. No,
Poke
I'm
it,
asking
'cause
the
I agree
question.
with you.
Why
As long as you
did
don't
they,
slap me.
Why did they do it? Is this an evolution of what movies are going to start doing more and more, or does this mean more for the movie? Is this supposed to enhance the experience? These are questions that I wonder about.
I mean,
They have intent.
Yeah, for sure. And part of me actually wishes that they wouldn't have released it, because I would have rather had seen his reveal like in the next movie or something. Okay. Because what we, again, spoiling for the Batman, but what we got of him in the actual movie was like so small and like you could barely see him. I think that would have been kind of a cool reveal for like waiting, 2 or something years till the next movie. I know you disagree, but
What's new?
I know, right?
So okay,
It's the Spider-Man trailer all over again.
so
But yeah, the scene is really cool, and I think it's well shot. It just felt like such like ripped right out of the comics.
So positive from everyone, really. It's just whether or not it belonged to the movie or not. What did you think, Jonah?
Well, so I'll kind of address some of the things. To me, the end scene was fine, but I don't think it was a great scene with him. The end scene in
Riddler,
the movie with
Joker
Riddler and
interaction.
Joker.
Oh, okay.
I thought the interrogation scene was way better, and showed Barry Keegan's Joker in a way better way. And so I think having that scene would have enhanced that final scene, because we've already seen the interaction with Batman, and now we're seeing that guy interact with the Riddler and being like, oh, they're teaming up for the next movie. Something's going to go down. So I think it would have enhanced it, actually. And I disagree with the aspect where you say, like, if I see the Joker, then I'm not going to care about the Riddler, because I think the Riddler was done so well that having that Joker scene would have, first of all, the theater would have freaked out, because no one was going to expect a full scene, a 5-minute scene with the Joker in that movie. No one expected that. And so, first of all, in that moment, everyone would be freaking out for the Joker showing up.
So that's not stealing the show, is what you're saying.
I don't think it is, because what it's doing is the Riddler was still so compelling. He's still not caught. So you have the Joker technically trying to help Batman, or Batman trying to get help from Joker. That adds a new level to it that I think we don't know if there's any other scenes that were cut, because Matt Reeves says there's a 4-hour cut. So that means that maybe
There's always a
with some of the information the Joker gives Batman helps him to solve the crime. I just think that would have been, for me, it wouldn't have taken away from the Riddler. It would have gotten me stoked to see more Joker. But I think the Riddler was so well done that a 5-minute scene with Joker would have just got me more stoked for that end scene, to being like, okay, we're going to get something really crazy in the next movie. Yeah. So that's where I kind of think, I don't think it would have pulled away from the Riddler, because that was the main story they're telling, and it was still well done. If the movie had plot holes and wasn't well done, I would say that was a concern. But because I've seen the movie and know how well it worked and how good the Riddler was, I don't have a concern that little scene would have taken away from Riddler.
Yeah, so I think that there's two situations where I think I would like it or I wouldn't like it. Yeah. If this is a standalone, no future, I say don't include it, because it's detracting from the Riddler. But since there is the intent to make more movies, I think it would have been nice to have it in there because that creates hype. You're creating new connections. I don't think either way is right. I actually think it's fine what they did. Actually, because I think about how animes. I know I'm getting weird on you guys, but animes, what they do is they do season, movie, and it's awesome because they can create this amazing hype through characters that they introduce on like the downtimes. But it's like, I wonder if movies could start doing this a little bit to have some saved scenes to kind of create hype for the next movie. Yeah. Like I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
For me, this seems like a very cool interaction. Because why are we limited to what's on the big screen in that moment? I don't know. So I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of pro what they did. If they included the Joker scene in the actual movie, I would probably say maybe scoop something out a little bit, like swap out some of the Riddler, middle part, but because it's it's
a longer movie, 5 more minutes.
Yeah,
but the other thing I'll say that Josh kind of brought out in the positive scenes he saw about it, but he said like their banter back and forth. It gives you a history. This is why I liked it, and I wish it would have stayed in there because it gives you a history on their relationship. He says it's almost our anniversary. What's the first year anniversary paper? Kind of thing. So you kind of get this idea of like, okay, in year 1, he went against a serial killer, the Joker. He caught him. He's been in prison for probably a year now since it's year 2.
Yeah.
So you can already tell that Joker's kind of already obsessed with Batman. Like they're already beginning that journey that we all know happens in the comics between Joker and Batman. And so for me, that was like, that's something really cool that would have gotten me more excited for that universe. I know they released it. Right. But
that's my point.
But yeah. I think have that,
this is okay.
What I think, like, I'll go out and say this, but if that was the scene in the movie, it would have made the movie better for me. And that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I think if they release it on Blu-ray or 4K, there's talk of like re-putting that scene in like in a different version. You can watch a longer version of the movie, and I would finally be able to enjoy it. I'd be curious to see how it works because it could go in there, and I could watch it in context of the rest of the movie and be like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't fit. But just seeing that scene, the scene is so good that I'm like, I would put it in there. It's just for me.
Yeah, I think it ultimately comes down to personal preference because none of us here hate the scene or anything. It's just, to me, I think the movie is perfectly fine without it.
Yeah. I will agree that having this scene in does enhance the end scene because I don't think this is a way better reveal than the Joker at the end.
Yeah.
Plus, it gives you the context of he already knows who the Riddler is because he's seen the stuff. It was a little
weird. The ending was a little weird for me, and I wasn't super satisfied with it.
That was probably the one scene in the movie where it was like it just felt not quite
connected,
up to standard with everything else that we'd seen.
I'm gonna say it felt a little forced. I mean, obviously it's convenient that they're right next to each other, or whatever.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is,
didn't you know there's only 2 cells in Arkham?
But no, it felt a little forced in that interaction.
Yeah,
yeah, and what Josh said, that scene would establish that the Joker knows who the Riddler is because Batman came. He's seen all his work. He knows.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, you're kind of convincing me a little bit to include it just because. I mean, that would have been pretty sweet in theaters to be like.
I also like it because it brings more variance to the story a little bit too, because in the middle area it becomes a little samey of like here's clue, follow clue,
Yeah.
So it's a nice mix to introduce a new character and a new like
another way
to
solve a crime.
Yes.
Like I have to go and talk to this other serial killer.
But the part of like the subtle hints at there is history with him and there's. Batman has a lot more depth. Not a lot more, but there's more depth to Batman just with that one scene.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question. Because I'm wondering, obviously that scene isn't just going to be stuck in the movie in the middle, and it's just going to be random. There has to be a lead up to it. So I'm wondering, like, how cool would have, like, if there's scene shot where he's talking to Commissioner Gordon, and they're referencing the Joker, but you don't know it's the Joker.
Yeah.
Like they say, the inmate, and he's like, well, like... If Jim Gordon's like, you really going to go talk to that freak or something like that? Like, some of that kind of stuff where it's building up. He's like, well, I don't want to, or he's talking to Alfred, and Alfred is like, no, you can't go talk to him, whatever. That would have been kind of that buildup where then you're like, who's he going to go talk to? Like, who's in Arkham? And then it would happen. I think that buildup would have been cool if that was the case, which I think you'd probably film some scenes that would lead up to that scene, which to me gets me excited to be like, hey, if they release a bigger version, I'm all for it. Like Corey said, it doesn't have to be just what you've seen on the theaters.
Yeah.
It's like, why not create a director's cut for people that want to enjoy this movie again, and you kind of reward them for being fans. It's like, sure, I'll watch an extra hour of a movie. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You watch the theatrical version.
Yeah, because I don't think any normie person is going to care as much.
Right.
It's for the fans. So, yeah. That'll be cool. But I really like the scene. I think it was really cool, and I hope more movies do this kind of stuff. In my opinion, I like it. I like that because it's free content and it's adding stuff to an already existing movie. I love that. That's really cool.
Well, and the way it was done too was cool. Was through the website and stuff like that.
Super cool.
I think allows people to be like, what's going on with this? Because I saw it all over Twitter, and people were like, oh, there's a countdown now, and then it was like, those 24 hours left. So I just think it keeps people talking of a movie that they obviously want people to still go and watch in theaters, which is cool. But yeah, I just think it's an interesting thing. And so apparently, I guess there's news that's connected. So the Gotham PD show that Matt Reeves was doing has now changed. It's not about Gotham PD. It's more about Arkham Asylum. So the show that they're going to do on HBO Max.
Guess what they said, bro?
What?
They said it's a horror show.
I actually like this a lot more.
But they said it's going to delve into Arkham Asylum, the history of it. And they're like, and there's a possibility that the Joker could have some scenes in that show, which would be really cool. They could do flashbacks to when he got caught. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's the building of this universe is pretty cool right now.
I think it's smart for them to change it to more Arkham focused, because I don't know if you guys ever watched Gotham.
A couple seasons.
Fish Mooney was the best.
I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons.
We'll talk about that later.
That show, I think it had a lot of problems in itself, but I think trying to do something that would probably be fairly similar to that would be kind of an uphill battle. So the fact that they're doing something different, I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's really good. I think just all in all, I really like it. Whether or not they put it in the movie or not, I think it's all just positive stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that we were able to see it. You know what I mean? If it were like, hey, we have Joker scenes, but we're not going to show you ever, then I'd be pissed because I'm like, you're just teasing me.
That's one of the things.
Smart.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things with Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan has said that he has a ton
he has a bunch of Joker
Heath Ledger stuff, but he will not release them because out of respect.
Yeah, that sucks.
And that's something that it's just
and that won't stand for
no, but I'm just saying you're saying, like, to have it released and to see like, hey, this was completely finished. This was a last minute decision to last minute decision. Apparently what was happening is they were doing fan screenings. So they were doing screenings and they were doing 2 different versions, one with a scene and one without it. And so coming off reactions, so this might go to play to your guys' point. Based on reactions, they decided which one to put in theaters. And the one that won was obviously the one with not that scene.
Yeah.
Again, I wish I was in one of those fan reactions, so I would have voted for it. But it's just kind of interesting that it was filmed, completely done. It was part of the movie. And then at the end, they decided not to put it in. But like I said, it's really cool. And I love the music they play there with him. Like, it's kind of like Joker's theme, kind of. It's really eerie. But when that plays at the end, I don't know. To me, it just enhances the final scene in that movie, which that's why it's a little more of a bummer for me that it's not in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully, the next movie, has some cool stuff coming
Yeah, if they announce it.
I don't even know if I want the Joker in the night, like as the main villain in the second one.
But they've already. I mean, might not be the main. But he's going to be involved.
I would rather him be involved a little bit, but give me a secondary villain.
Yeah.
We can cut away to the Joker.
He could be like puppet master.
We can get a good reveal of the Joker in a purple suit, like maybe he even has his makeup on. Then that gives you a good reveal of the Joker. And then he's the big player in the third one. That's kind of what I want.
I would agree with that.
Because I feel like The Dark Knight is like, obviously, you get the Joker, and it's just like, it peaks.
He was going to be in the third one.
And then, well, yeah.
He was
unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then the third one's like, well, you don't have the Joker in there. You don't have Two-Face in there.
Well,
kind of
too,
stuff
there's
like that.
just Batman just has so many villains,
So much to offer, yeah.
and I think we've talked about it before, but like just so many villains we haven't seen or haven't seen in a long time. I would love to see the Court of Owls. I know Robert Pattinson has talked about that specifically, so that's something more I would be interested in. I just feel like again, I like Joker, but I just feel like we've got so much of him recently that I'm fine with like maybe focusing on someone else, at least for this next movie. I think that's a great idea, doing like, little scenes like the one that's deleted in movie 2 and then really getting him in the
Yeah. I mean, you've already established that the Batman goes around to other, what I mean? He talks to the Penguin. He talks to the Joker. So you've already kind of established that.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've really seen that much in any of the movies of him being like, oh, let me go talk to this villain, see what's going on, kind of a thing. So I think that would be cool if you could maybe expand the Rogues Gallery in the second one while he's trying to figure out who the main bad guy is. And then maybe at the end it does turn out it's the Joker, or he's, like you were saying, Corey, he's the puppet master or the mastermind.
Yeah, and especially if we get Joker in the Arkham show, like I think that would be like kind of our Joker fix until like movie 3 or something.
I would be. I'm scared to use him in the Arkham series because I don't know.
It's okay.
Man.
It's not your choice.
Because for sure, none of this is our choice. But like the Joker is so like, it's just a loved and very valued bad guy in the series, and his existence defines a lot of Batman's existence, and so I wouldn't be super. Maybe like little like nods and stuff like that, and maybe little things, but for him to be super involved, I wouldn't be super stoked. But yeah, maybe.
See, for me, the Joker to me is like Mexican street tacos. I can't get enough of them. Right? I'll
Make
go.
you need diarrhea. That's what you're gonna
To
go.
me, it's like if I'm in Mexico and I go on a corner of the street, there's some tacos. I order 20 of them. I eat them. The next night, I go on to another corner of the street. Guess what's there? Tacos. I'm going to eat some more of them. Give me as much Joker as I can get, because I just feel like, especially if it's interesting, I feel like every Joker we've had has been different. It's not like we've been given the same one. If you got Heath Ledger, completely different than Jared Leto's Joker. This one looks different than Jared Leto, than Heath Ledger. You got the Adam West Joker that's completely different. The Jack Nicholson Joker was different.
But guess who's like really different than them? Like Mr. Freeze or the Court of Owls. Like if that's your argument, then like go to just a completely different villain.
No, my argument is based on if Matt Reeves, who is making this world and spending 5 years of his life creating this stuff, I want him to give me the villains he wants. I don't want it for the sake of being like, well, Joker's already been done, so I'm going to do a different character.
Yeah,
because
but he's said himself that he wants to do like Mr. Freeze or something.
Yeah, but he said, when people said, what characters do you think would be interesting? So, there's some great characters, Mr. Freeze. But he didn't put allusions to Mr. Freeze in this first movie. He filmed full-on scenes with the Joker, so that means he has a plan for the Joker in this universe. So
Of course he does. It's a Batman universe.
I know, but but there's no plans for Mr. Freeze in this universe, in this movie. So what I'm saying is,
have to be. So
what I'm saying is, Matt Reeves is basically showing his hand, saying the Joker is going to be involved in this universe. Like he's putting it in the first movie, saying there's something there. So my opinion is, if he wants to give me the Joker in the second movie, I'm all for it. I want him to do whatever he wants. If he wants to do Mr. Freeze in the second movie and save the Joker for the third, that's fine. But to me, it's like, give me whatever he wants to do, because he's the architect of this universe. And so I'm not like concerned.
No one's arguing with that, though.
yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying you guys are saying you hope he saves him for the third movie. I'm saying I just want him to give me, if he plans on doing the second movie, give me the Joker in the second movie. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want him to do what he wants to do.
For sure.
Because I'm not tired of the Joker.
So what about
it's
the
a different
whole
thing.
what about the whole TV series idea? What if Joker was introduced there and was a part of that story? Would you be happy with that?
I don't want him to be like the main character,
Main
like
villain.
see some things about it. But the thing that concerns me a little bit is that even though Matt Reeves is involved, he's not going to be directing it. And so he's going to be focusing on this next movie. So that to me is like kind of, this is a side thing, side rail, kind of developing that universe, but it's not going to be, I would rather him be in the movies as opposed to being in the show. But I wouldn't mind nods and stuff, and like him having scenes with other characters. Like if there's a scene with the Riddler and the Joker in there, and they're discussing like breaking out or something like that, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to just follow him.
Yeah. Do you even have an opinion on whether or not Joker would you like it in the series, the Arkham series?
I would want it like just drops here and there. Okay. Like you see him, they make references to him. Maybe you get one or two scenes with him in the show entirely, but he's not the center of it.
Okay.
I don't think
Hugo Strange should be the center of it.
Sure.
If that's what Matt Reeves wants.
Yeah.
That exactly.
What a strange argument you just laid out.
No, it wasn't a strange argument. I was saying
Strange.
I don't care if he uses a Joker in the second movie, because if that's what he wants to do, like I'm not tired of the Joker. You guys were saying you were tired of the Joker. You didn't.
Matt Reeves is doing. I'm just saying that would be my preference.
And my preference would be that Matt Reeves would do whatever he wants to do. If that includes the Joker for 6 movies, then put the Joker in 6 movies. I'm not tired of Matt Reeves' Joker.
I'm gonna let this argument slide because it's not going anywhere. But
Careful, I'm going to come over and slap you.
oh no, you can try.
Don't disrespect me
Nice.
or my opinions.
Awesome. So that's basically our review on the
deleted
scene.
scene.
Not even a trailer,
Yes.
nothing like that. Just a deleted scene. Oh, how far we can go off topic. It's great. But we love Batman so much, so
That's right.
It's all fun.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
And each other.
yeah.
We love each other.
I mean, yeah,
Very much.
let that be said. Yeah.
yeah. Let us know if you think that the deleted scene should have been included, or
Yeah.
if they did the right thing. If Mick and I are right again, and that they left it out, or Jonah's wrong. There's only one choice.
Yep.
Yeah, let us
Pretty
know.
obvious.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yep.
That's it for the deleted scene review or whatever this is. I don't even know what this is.
The scene discussion.
But just a real quick reminder, we are running a giveaway for the poster for the Batman, actually.
That's right.
Applicable again. The link is in the description below. You just have to click on it and then click on the links to visit our socials, and then you get those tickets to enter in to win. So the more you click, the more entries you have. So yeah, check
It's
it
an
out.
awesome
Do it.
poster too.
Check
So
it
cool.
out. Yeah.
That's great.
Cool.
Cool.
But that's it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.